Hello, hello.
Hi. I don't want to move closer because I'll squish your foot.
Yeah, go ahead.
There you go.
You can squish my foot, babe.
I don't want to squish your foot, break it.
I
Just
know.
getting
Hello.
healthy.
All
Hey,
right, we're
everybody.
live on both. Wait a minute. I don't see you on Instagram. There you go. Hello, everybody. So, we are doing Dual Live. We've been doing the last couple weeks. So, if you are new to our free community, this is Marriage Movement. My name is Blair Critch, and this is
Ryan.
And we are the creators of Marriage Movement. We're so glad you're a part of this. We've had a lot of new people
creators.
joining. Yeah,
That's
we are
exciting.
creators.
Love it.
A lot of new people have been joining this group. And if you're watching on Instagram, hello, we're so glad you're joining us. Did you know that we have a free community and you can be a part of it? It's over on Facebook and it is called Marriage Movement. So all you have to do is go to Facebook, put in the search bar Marriage Movement, boom. You can join our free community. And we just ended a 7-day really fun challenge called a morning challenge where we kind of gave you guys step by step how to start up a morning routine. And I saw a lot of people, they did it. A lot of you guys did it on your own, which is totally awesome. It doesn't matter. You can do it by yourself or with your spouse or with your whole family. Ryan and I created a journal called See You at the Table that's geared more towards families. And the other one is called Success at Sunrise. You can grab those on Amazon. I'll put the link below for those of you that are on Facebook. And if you're on Instagram and you're looking for our journals, you can go to seeyouatthetablejournal.com and it'll take you straight to the Amazon or successatsunrisejournal.com. That will also take you straight to our Amazon. We'll be getting those links up soon here on Marriage Movement. It's actually one of my goals this week while I'm on a 5-hour plane ride is to get links up in the bio, right?
I like it.
So what I thought would be really cool for us to talk about today, we've been hopping on live every single week just to kind of like recreate some energy in this group. I know Ryan and I kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus during my cancer journey, and we are back and ready to help you guys inside of this group and also just to be a part of the community again ourselves. Like, we love this group of people. Everyone's so awesome. And so one of the things that I thought would be really cool for us to talk about this week on our live, that's so much better, isn't it?
I'm bright.
This week on our live is to talk about one of the things that we have worked really hard on in our marriage, which is finding common things besides our kids and work. Right. And so those of you that maybe did the 7-day morning over this last week challenge, maybe you started doing a morning routine and maybe you did it with your spouse or maybe you did it alone. But if you did it with your spouse, we'd love to hear in the comments below if that helped you guys at all. Do you feel like you had a little more to talk about? Do you feel like you had a little bit deeper of a connection? When people ask me why Ryan and I wrote these journals this summer, my biggest reason is because people have been asking us over the last 8 years what we're doing and how we've created such a strong relationship with each other and our children as they've gotten older. And I really believe that's a big part of it because we share every single morning. Like, what are those gratitudes that you wrote? What are those prayer requests or desires that you wrote? What is your intention for the day? And who are you going to share a kind word with?
Yeah. So life normally as a married couple, there we go, right? If you just stay the same and you don't do anything, then kids and career, you're just going to start to go farther and farther apart.
Yeah.
Like that, right? You just kind of drift away. So over the years, we have just made it a point to stay connected. So what can we do that gets us together, gives us other things outside kids and career to talk about? So common ground that both of us are interested in. The journals help a ton because we never get that far apart. We're together every morning. I know what Blair's praying for. I know what she's thankful for. I know what the kids are thankful for. I know what they're praying for. And throughout the day, if I know what's on Blair's mind and her heart, then when I think about her, I can pray for her, encourage her. Just kind of sets the day for the tone on, I know it's like, guys, it's a cheat sheet. It's a cheat sheet on what to do, how she's feeling, what excites her, what she's thankful for. A lot of times when we write down our gratitudes, she'll mention something that I've done, which I didn't know she was that thankful for, so she says it. So guess what, guys? I do it again.
Smart guy.
Like, really, it's super simple, but not easy.
Right.
You'll hear that's kind of a common theme.
And actually, since you brought that up, before I go on to our first point tonight, would you share, especially with the men, about why you feel like it's important to, grab the journal and start doing that with your wife? I think you kind of already touched on that, but maybe a little more, because I don't think it's as normal for a guy as it is for a girl to spend time writing down your gratitudes, writing down your prayer requests, writing down your intentions, those kind of things. It's not so natural.
Okay, so I did it for selfish reasons. I wanted to know, how can I start my day in the best possible way? To me, it was writing down things I'm grateful for. That's me personally, right?
And there's scientific research on why that's important.
Okay, so scientifically. So for me personally, I wanted to write it down. At the time we started the journals, I was just starting to do real estate. So say it out loud. I want this house to sell. I want new clients. I want new families to help. I want this. So constantly, my mind, I'm putting these things out there, praying for address, thinking about addresses, writing everything down. Then here is what I really, really love, is that I can look back from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and know what's going on in my life, because we're constantly getting better. As long as you're feeding your mind the right things, you're constantly creating, as Ed Milet likes to say, you're creating your new self, right? Your new standard. So when you look back, if I'm ever feeling down or anything like that, or, hey, what's going on? I can't figure this out. I will go back through that journal and be like, holy cow, this is what I used to pray for, and now it's here. This is what I used to be grateful for. Well, wow, look how that has compounded and transformed into something completely outstanding. So guys, don't use your phone, don't use your iPad. If use the journals as a resource, or just write it down anywhere and just keep a record for it, and it'll help bring things to your mind. Because inside my head, if I just go default, is usually negative. So that's why I use cheat sheets and cheat things to write it down to keep it positive.
Awesome. So tonight, when we were talking about, is a lot of, things that you guys can find to do together. And I love that Ryan already brought up that the reason is because you start to drift apart, right? If your focus is always about the kids or always about work, then you start to drift apart. And those of you that have kids, all of a sudden, you're like us, you got, kids about to go off to college, and you're like, oh, do we really even have anything to do anymore together? Do we have anything in common? Are we just two ships passing in the night? So it's a really great way. And I would love to hear from you here in this community or here on Instagram. What do you do with your spouse that is something that you guys really enjoy doing together, right? Like,
How do you keep it exciting, fun, entertaining, interesting?
Yep. And so we would love to hear from you about what things that you guys do together. I know I have some friends that love to work out together. I don't particularly love to do that with Ryan. And so we have other things. And so we thought we'd share with you guys a couple of things, a couple of points tonight that have really helped us, but we would love to hear from you too. So please share. That's one of my favorite things about this community, is the things that I learn from you guys and vice versa.
Because we're all better together,
That's
right? Power
Yeah.
of a mastermind, get like-minded people together. And you don't have to think of everything on your own. That's the beauty of this community and this group.
So true. So one of the biggest things is finding maybe a podcast or an Audible book that you both want to listen to in that month. So Ryan and I used to be really good at this. We've kind of gotten off of this just because we're both doing a lot of different work right now. But there were seasons where we would do that. We would say, okay, what book are you listening to, or what book do you want to listen to? And we'd both listen to that Audible book. Or sometimes I would read the book and Ryan would listen to it. But that way we were both listening to or reading the same book, and that allowed us conversations, right? Yes. That were again, reiterating here, the whole point is to not be talking about the kids and work. Now,
career.
Doesn't mean you're not going to talk about those things. It just means that you have other things to talk about. So it's not always the same thing over and over again. So that one I really loved, when we had like podcasts, and we still will share with each other like, oh, this is a really good podcast, you should listen to it. But I really loved that when we had like a common book or common podcast that we were listening to strategically.
And if it's not the same book, then it was a common theme. So like I don't know, it's kind of like you go through this process, right? First, it was like goal setting. Okay, what do we want? All right, now that we've laid out what do we want, how do we get it? What do we do? How do we make sure that we spend time together? So productivity, time management, it all kind of goes together. And then we'll start doing mindset things, and she'll share YouTube. So it's books together, and then also topics that we're working on, non-work related. Mm-hmm. things,
right?
But they definitely apply to the whole life. So I agree, that was a lot of fun.
Yep, that one's really awesome. Another tip.
And right now we're doing something together too. So like this is a never-ending thing. Continue to grow together, to stay interesting to each other, and constantly be feeding your brain new, interesting things. And you'll start to see you'll both grow together, and you'll grow together faster because you're snowballing off each other during your date night conversations. Because when Blair and I can read the same 3 pages or 1 page for that, and it's completely different what she will find interesting and pull out of it versus what I will pull.
Right. So the next tip and idea is finding something new to do together.
Yes.
Right? Something where you both have to learn or, grow in that way. So like for us, like we've been trying out pickleball with some other friends, right?
Yes.
Which Ryan
Yes.
picks up very naturally because he's just an athlete and he knows how to play tennis. I, however, have not played tennis. I'm not saying I'm not good at sports anymore. I'm not saying that
Don't
anymore.
say that
'Cause
to
is
yourself.
that is a negative mindset. And instead I'm
But
going to
it's
say.
not true.
And it's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
It's
But
not true.
so for me, I was very intimidated by it at first. So if you feel that way too, I just want to encourage you, find something that's going to stretch you, because guess what happens in your marriage? Not only is it fun, you get, for us, like we're trying to include different couples and just make it fun, something physical to do, which is always good for endorphins. But also for me, it's really cool to see how Ryan encourages me and helps me in something that I'm not comfortable in, right? Because for me, a lot of the things that I choose to do are things that I know I'm already good at, right? I like to know that I'm going to be successful, right? A lot of us are that way. And so to have something new that I'm doing with Ryan, it's really fun. So there's so many things you can do. Pickleball, golf, tennis, bike riding. What else?
Spike ball,
Oh,
surfing.
yeah.
I mean, who knows? What,
So fun, right?
You
Maybe
guys
you live
tell
on a
us, what are
lake.
some
Like,
new
tell us some things that
things
you do. Yeah.
that you guys, I mean, you could go shoot a gun together.
Oh, that's actually, I kind of like that idea.
I mean,
Actually
just learn
sounds like
something
fun. Mm-hmm.
new, right? So we could do that.
Yeah.
So, and just to touch, are we talking about the common themes now? Finding common ground between the two of us?
Sure.
Is that where okay, so we're
That's
just
where we're
gonna,
going.
Yeah, that's where we're headed anyway. So Blair and I could not be more opposite in terms of what we love to do, what we like, how we think. If I could pick my dream vacation, it's much different than Blair's. So finding a date night or things to do was not simple at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had to kind of work at it. Well, I really want to, go skiing. Blair's like, okay, I don't love skiing, but I'll find something to do to enjoy it because I know you love it so much, Ryan.
Right.
Okay. Blair likes the lake and beach vacations and things like that. And so I will find whatever it is that Blair wants to do, I'll find a way to enjoy it because I know that it makes her happy.
Right.
And that's the goal, is to make each other happy. Hopefully that's the goal, people.
That is, yeah.
To make each other happy. So find common things that you can both get excited about and do together.
That's perfect, because the last 2 things that we were going to talk about is, okay, so now you found some common things, right? Maybe it's some new fun things that you guys can try together, learn together. Maybe it's, reading or listening to the same podcasts together. And then another idea is making sure that you have date nights, right? And whether that's creating different date nights where you both have something you want to do, or taking turns, right? And there's a really cool product out called Adventure Challenge. You can get that book. They have a date night one, and different ideas like that, or you can Google, or you guys can take turns, or you guys can write a bunch of different ideas, put them in a jar, and you pull it out for that date night. But there's a lot of different ways to do that, but it's important to have that alone time without the kids. Again, the emphasis is that you guys are having different things to do, and when you get to date night, it's not just sitting there staring at each other, because you guys have been reading or talking or doing the morning journal together, these different things.
Absolutely. So Darren Hardy and his wife Georgia did this together because wanted to have date night for them was every Saturday night. And so rather than having to sit down and, do you want to do this? No, I don't want to do that. They wrote out 100 things that they wanted to do on little pieces of paper, and they put it in a big jar, and then every Saturday night they would just kind of mix it up and pick out the thing. And that's what they were doing. No decision time, no arguing, I don't feel like it, none of that. It's just kind of like, here, all right, I guess we're going to go they live in South Beach, so I guess we're going to go for a walk on the beach and then get ice cream after on the way back to where they live. So there's ways to make it fun and interesting if You put in a little effort.
Yeah, and you could even do, if that sounds intimidating to you, because that sounds like a lot to me, you could do 12 things and put it in a jar. So you do once a month,
12
right?
things is 4 months,
I
yeah.
can even remember, it was maybe 6 weeks ago, Ryan and I tried a sound meditation. Like, neither one of us had ever done one before. My yoga studio was offering one at night.
Really
and
good.
I was like, hey, babe, would you want to do this one night for date night? And he said yes. And I was like, awesome. I had no idea what it was going to be like. I had no idea if we're going to hate it or love it. We ended up loving it. And it was just a really cool experience because neither one of us had ever experienced that before. And we got to do it together.
Right.
It was really cool.
And talk about trying new things.
Yeah,
like
it was
when
very
I say
out of
that
our
out
element.
loud, it's real. Like I did a what?
It's very out of our element.
I loved
but
it.
it was
But I
awesome,
loved it. Yep,
right?
it's
I know.
fantastic.
And by the way, check out in your local area. Do you have a Groupon, things like that? Because those are always great ways to find new ideas of places in your local community that you guys could go and check out.
And
try.
save some money.
And save some money at the same
Which
time.
we all love.
But I always feel like even if it doesn't work out in the time frame, because there's always like those, you got to use it between this and this, at least gives me some good ideas.
It's an idea.
Right?
Love it.
Okay, and then last but not least, what about planning once a year a trip together, just the two of you, without kids, without friends, without other family members, just the two of you? This is something that I actually really love. Ryan and I stopped doing gifts for each other. Obviously, the kids give us gifts, which is really out of our own pocket, but we don't buy each other gifts anymore for our birthdays, our anniversary, or for the holidays because we give each other the gift of going away together once a year. And my favorite part about that is the planning. So it's talking about it, like where's somewhere that we've never gone before. And so like we're going to be coming up on a trip to Nashville soon. And it was just something we were like, gosh, we haven't been there since I was in college.
You
And
weren't married yet.
We weren't even married.
No,
and we were literally there for just a quick stop in as we went on our way to see his parents. So we were like, gosh, wouldn't that be fun? Something different. Like, let's go listen to live music and like have some fun and see something new together. And so that's the kind of stuff, and planning it and talking about it. Like, those are all really fun activities leading up to it. And if you're the kind of person that loves to like research and learn, and that could really be fun and engaging for both of you guys.
And if it's not fun, you can just choose one of you can plan it. So Blair
too.
loves all that stuff, so she'll give me like the top 3 choices of, hey, how does this sound? What do you want to do? Kind of like that. So don't get stressed out about it. One of you, I'm sure, loves to plan and can pick activities, and if you don't,
get a travel agent.
Right.
But I do even love, like, I'll even say to Ryan, like, what do you want? What is the number one thing you want out of the hotel we stay at or the Airbnb we stay at? So it's like I'm including, and then I show him, okay, here's our top 3 choices. So I love that you brought that up because it's not just me planning it and being like, this is where we're going to go, this is what we're going to do, right? It's, hey, what are some of the things that you really want to do while you're there, and make sure that we hit that. And one thing that we do always do, every city we go to that has it, is we always go on a Segway tour. And
Yeah,
it
I
is
love Segway
so
tours.
much fun
Yes.
because number one, it's very educational. You learn about the area. They always give you great tour information.
Better than walking.
But it's better than walking. Ryan's not a huge fan of walking. My mom and I went to Paris once and we did all these walking tours. They were amazing. But this is just as good because you hop on the Segway and you get to have the same kind of tour, and we get to know the area together. And then it also allows us to figure out, let's go back to that bar, or let's go back to that restaurant, or let's go back to that museum. And it's something fun and different. Like, we don't get to Segway every day.
Right.
So it's kind of something fun that we do.
I love it. And just back to planning ahead. So the farther in advance you plan it, the better it is. Because
Good point,
you get
babe.
to look forward to it for so much longer, right? So I'm having that, we're going here. I can't wait to go. I can't wait. There is power in that. Like, it brings a smile to your face. And here's a warning. Guess what? As soon as you two sit down to try to pick somewhere to go, somewhere, resistance is going to come up. We can't afford it. What if the kids have something? What are some other things that pop up? I mean, it seems like as soon as we would try to plan something, like 7 things would happen.
Yeah.
And we would just kind of push through, no, this is where we're going. And once you block it, then that's the weekend. And it's a priority, so it doesn't get canceled. It's just like, we are going away because it's important for our marriage.
And it doesn't have to be a weekend. If you guys have flexible businesses, like we both own our own businesses, so we are flexible that way. We have figured out that for our kids and for having somebody help watch them and all of those things, it's actually easier if we leave during the week because then we don't miss out on any of the kids' sports stuff. And it's easier for our babysitters, which is usually Ryan's parents or my parents, because the kids are at school half the day. So it's like, okay, they drop them off at school in the morning. They don't really have to help them again until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or pick them up from sports, feed them dinner, help them with some homework, put them to bed. So it makes it a lot easier for them
Easy,
too.
and it doesn't have to be far. We've done, when the
Yeah, it
kids
can
were
be
younger,
quick
it was
ones.
always staycations. Hour and a half drive, get a hotel room. You will be shocked the amount of brain space, how you can actually relax and just enjoy each other.
Yep.
So lots
absolutely.
of staycations.
Or ask the grandparents if you really is a financial issue. Maybe you do ask the grandparents if they can take the kids for the weekend. You stay home, but you do not allow yourself to cook, to clean. You enjoy the weekend, okay?
Yeah.
Gotta have fun. Like maybe naked swimming in the pool. Things that you wouldn't do when your kids are home.
That's an idea.
All right. So thanks for joining us tonight. Drop
Absolutely.
below
Love
what
it,
are some
love it.
things that you guys do to stay together, to make your marriage a commitment, so that you're not two people passing each other in the night, right? Two ships passing in the night. And Instagram, make sure you join
Instagram.
us inside of our free community. I almost said Bless Mama Bosses. Inside of
Now
Marriage
it's free,
Movement. Have a
Awesome.
great night, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Can you hit stop on that one?
Sure. If you want to save or delete it.
Hit end.